he nails down, he says this is going to be like Occupy 2.0, and he explains why, and I agree with him on that. So anyway, getting into...
Okay, so they finish off right here with this. This movement is in a different moment of history than Occupy, said Sunsara Taylor, another organizer. And unlike Occupy Wall Street, whose protesters were plagued by their inability to coalesce around a specific set of demands, basically they failed to actually have a plan of action or even know what they wanted. Taylor pointed out this protest will have one very specific demand: the end of the Trump presidency. I'm not entirely sure how they plan to do this, and neither are they. For all the talk of regime change, these activists insist they're not looking to initiate an unconstitutional coup. The exact method of pushing Trump out of office is hazy, and they're open to different possibilities. Wow. Just wow. So they aren't even sure how they're going to get Trump out of the presidency.
One of the things I wanted to focus on was, for all the talk of regime change, so they say the exact method of pushing Trump out of office is hazy. It really isn't. And they're open to different possibilities as they described it. If Congress refuses to impeach, there's no grounds to impeach. Then advisors could declare the president unfit to serve under the 25th Amendment. So I looked up the 25th Amendment. And the 25th Amendment basically gives you the line of succession. That's... I thought it was going to be the emoluments clause, but the line of succession has nothing... You can't say that someone's unfit to serve under it. It deals with once someone is no longer in the line, how the succession would take place. So unless they're trying to imply that they would assassinate him, which is a possibility, the 25th Amendment has nothing to do with declaring him unfit to be president. Now, they're also saying that they want his inner circle to pressure him to resign. I think that could be Javanka, Jared and Ivanka. I really want them out of office, and a lot of people agree with me on this. Now, then there's, and pressure him to resign, or maybe he could quit in frustration. To naysayers, the activists point towards Arab Spring and the resignation of South Korea's president.
November 4th in cities around this country, people have to take to the streets. Take to the streets a final time, because we will not leave. Day after day, night after night, people will be out there until our demand is met. The Trump and Pence regime must go, the entire regime. And so we're getting ready for this. It starts this Saturday. People need to come together. There are conferences in New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Austin, Texas. Call for a meeting wherever you are and get people together, religious leaders, leaders of immigrants' rights groups, civil liberties organizations, student groups, your friends, your family. Bring people together and have everyone throw in, all hands on deck, to figure out how are we going to create a Tahrir Square in this country, a South Korea situation where people do not leave, where people stand together and show the world that the people have power and that it's on us to change this, to make real change and to drive out this regime. So August 19th, it's this Saturday. Come out, go to refusefascism.org to find a conference near you. You are needed, you need to be there. We have to drive out this regime. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America.
No!
No!
We can have a Tahrir Square, we can have a South Korea. So I looked them up at the time, and I found this is Arab Spring is the same thing as Tahrir Square, by the way. So I had looked them up and basically found there are situations where protesters filled up a public area until the government heads got annoyed and resigned. These were also in legitimate regimes where there were probably a lot of buzz besides this that people were very unhappy. Trump just went into office. At least half the country wants him there. 60 million people voted for him. And about 60 million people voted for Hillary. And the remainder of the country didn't vote for either. Or I guess they would be ineligible to vote for some reason. Maybe they are children. There's roughly, I've heard there's 320 million people in the U.S. I've heard there's 360 million or 370. Roughly a fourth, no, 1/6. 60 million of 360, that would be 1/6 of the population. That's still a decent chunk. And I've been finding a lot of people who are moving over to the right. I see it all the time online. People are saying, with the way the left is throwing a fit, I used to be a leftist, and now I'm moving over.
His inner circle could pressure him to resign, or maybe he would quit in frustration. I'm amazed these people think that Trump, of all people, is going to quit. I don't think that man's ever quit in his entire life, not through bankruptcies, not through his entire career has Trump ever quit. He kept going and going and going. He built his empire. He became president. He's president now. He's not a quitter. He's the last person who would ever quit. I just find it funny. I just find it hilarious. These people think that they're gonna get Trump impeached. Yeah, I think they're crazy. They are crazy, and folks, trust me. If you think this is crazy, it gets a lot more insane. We haven't even looked at Refuse Fascism's website yet. So, obviously, there are a lot of naysayers. It says here, to naysayers, the activists point toward the Arab Spring and the resignation of South Korea's president last year as evidency of the efficacy. Did I say evidency? Wow, Jesus. Okay. The activists point toward the Arab Spring and resignation of South Korea's president last year as evidence of the efficacy of mass protests.
That is most of the article. There is another area in the article where Refuse Fascism claims that they are not Antifa. And I think rather than cover that in the last few minutes, I would have for this video, I'm going to go ahead and make that its own video that I am working on. That was already on a to-do list for me. So I'm going to get that out in the future. But that's it for these two videos on the article about November 4th. More to come.